For me, and I'm sure many others my age, the sixth generation of consoles is one that we might have the fondest memories of. I remember getting my GameCube on Christmas Day 2003, and since then I've amassed a large collection of titles for the system. Since I was a child, amongst these titles lie several licensed games that I picked up over the years. Now, I have taste, as well as an older brother who would put a stop to such things, so not a lot of these games ended up in my library, but I do have a couple. I'm sure I'm not alone in realizing that the output of these licensed games has slowed down significantly. Gone are the days of seeing Charlie's Angels, Iron Man 2, and Bart's Nightmare pop up on store shelves. I guess developers decided not to waste their time anymore. As such, it's kind of the end of an era in a way. It's very sad, but these games just aren't marketable in today's gaming climate. However, some licensed games have shown themselves to be extremely playable, unique, and even ahead of their time. Now, this is the first time I've done a video like this, and I could probably be talking about anything more important, but recently I've been obsessed with a game called Monsters, Inc. Scream Arena for the Nintendo GameCube. I'll be breaking this video into two parts. Part 1 is why Monsters, Inc. Scream Arena is a first-class licensed game, and Part 2 is going to be why this game is not only quality, but fit for competitive play as well. I also want to preface this essay by saying that I have not watched Monsters, Inc. since I was probably 7 years old. I'm in my 20s now, and I plan to watch it upon the completion of this video as somewhat of a reward. So don't come after me, Disney freaks. Released in 2002 and developed by Radical Entertainment, Monsters, Inc. Scream Arena is a, quote, sports video game where you run around a stage hurling projectiles at little kooky characters. It existed in this weird niche of early mid-2000s games that were essentially repackaged clones of Power Stone, a classic Dreamcast game where you run around a stage and hurl projectiles at people. Games like Billy and Mandy, Loons, and more notably Shrek's Super Slam fall into this category. Over the course of my career as a gamer boy, I've observed that the main problem with a lot of licensed stuff is that it's boring. It lacks creativity and effort in important things. No licensed game is going to be the best in its genre, so why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your money on a game if you know it's not going to be worth it, right? Why are you buying Bugs Life when you can buy Mario 64, right? Monsters, Inc. Scream Arena succeeds as a game because it's not a boring concept. It's a goddamn dodgeball game. Think about how many dodgeball games there are. That's right, there's one. It's called Super Dodgeball, and it was made for the Famicom in 1988. That game bangs, but we're not here to talk about that. When you open up the game, you're greeted by the theme from the movie, which is awesome and perfect, and I love it, but I'm not allowed to show it, or else I'd be 20 feet deep in a lake. In the menu, you've got a couple game modes. Solo, that being campaign, Buddy, which is a 2-player campaign, a party mode for 4 players, and Team, which is a 2v2 version of party mode. These are awesome, but I'll get to them in part 2, like I've said. Scream Arena stands out conceptually because it acts as a continuation of the movie. At least, I think it does. I haven't seen it. Everything in the game, however, is told entirely through short cutscenes and pretty much boils down to let's throw balls at our friends to make the kids laugh. Very funny. It's silly, and the developers don't really do too much to overcomplicate things. It really feels like it could exist within the fictional universe. It also has the same cast as the movie, with Billy Crystal, Steve Buscemi, and my main man John Goodman reprising their roles, amongst many others that fill the game's 13-person roster. In my opinion, having the original voice actors adds a lot to a licensed game. Having Will Smith or Robert Downey Jr. impersonators really takes a lot out of your game. Look at Simpsons Hit and Run, coincidentally also developed by Radical Entertainment. That game has the original voice actors and is probably like top 6 games of all time. Right behind Grim Fandango, Beyond Good and Evil, Temple Run, Family Guy for PSP, and Crayon Shinchan Ora to Poi Poi. So far, we've deduced that what makes a licensed game good is as follows. 1. A unique gameplay concept. 2. Not trying to overcomplicate anything. 3. Actual effort from the developers. 4. Not just adhering to the source material, but keeping the IP's vision intact with people that worked on said source material. Scream Arena has all of these, obviously, and because of this remains a thoughtful and fun game that feels complete and has pretty much all the movie's charm. Enough baby talk, though. I'll just get right into it. Competitive games, whether they be Street Fighter or Counter-Strike, are defined by the fact that they are skill-based. There's nothing separating you from your opponent but your ability. It's like items in Smash Bros. If you turn them off, you turn a party game into a fighting game. Scream Arena, while not entirely in the same mold, has the potential to be a skill-based game as well, even more so than Power Stone, its spiritual predecessor. The maps lack hazards for the most part, and a good amount of the balls aren't too whack. The characters don't seem to be too imbalanced in terms of dash length or throwing speed either, which is good. You don't want some scrub making you gamer rage in your own living room. The various game modes also act as sort of a catalyst for competitive play. Each multiplayer mode has its own set of rules, which allow for cool and varied gameplay that doesn't bore you very quickly. I believe the most competitive mode to be the 9 life knock 'em out, because there's not really a lot of exploiting you can do in terms of playing like a little wiener. The mechanics are simple. There's only 3 buttons you need to use. A is a power throw, B is dash, and X is a lob toss. There's no complex combinations or pressure to impede a player from picking it up. It's really just about how fast you can move and pick up dodgeballs. When I was playing this with my friends, who aren't the most hardcore of gamers, they really got into it, and it was actually kind of fun to watch as they zipped around, throwing meaty ones at each other. Campaign was also pretty neat too. While the majority of it is just raw ball handling, the levels went by pretty quickly, and I beat the whole game in about 90 minutes. The computers were ruthless sometimes, to be honest, and will probably impede your progress a fair bit. I'm a fan of challenge, so it was really no big deal, but I don't think a child could feasibly pass the last few levels. I'm not going to spoil the big end surprise either, because this game is like $6 on eBay. You can get it for yourself, but it's worth it. Okay, I need to explain why this matters. Why would you go out and spend upwards of maybe $10 on a Monsters, Inc. video game? You could spend that same money on a 3-course meal at Chili's. Get a strawberry lemonade, some chips, salsa, some fajitas that come sizzling right there at your table. Come on, dude, come on. Can't be beat. Monsters, Inc. Go play Monsters, Inc. I'd like to use this time to issue a formal apology to my friends. I showed them this video, and they'd just like to state that they are, in fact, hardcore gamers. That was a bit of an oversight by me. I'm probably the best at this game, though, so if you want to play me, my address is 6F Geese Store, Akiba Sotokanda 3155, Chiyoda-ku, Tokyo. So, come see me or whatever.